That's pretty cool. What do you think?
It was really cool. You guys didn't know I was coming?
No!
Total surprise?
Yeah!
No leaks by the media or anybody?
No!
Wow.
That was Miss Wallace pulled this together. She's a tough cookie, apparently, but she did a great job. And just I know you know this because you did it, but if you remember, Cal, the seniors invited you down to speak at graduation in May, and through a great social media campaign that really was special for you. And unfortunately, the schedule wouldn't allow it, but so you guys know, Cal made it clear, look, I can't go down in May. I want to get down there. I want to see these guys. I want to thank them personally. So that's how it happened, through the magic of social media.
Yeah, speaking of social media, I guess I'm old enough where you kind of look back on my own career. I think when I first got to the big leagues, we didn't even have remote controls on the TVs. And somebody had to get up and actually change the channel. And I think there was only 3 channels in the hotel for us at that time. And the only stuff on the TV was soap operas. So baseball players, big baseball players, learned how to be soap opera fans in the afternoon before we played the game. But the power of the social media is wonderful. It's enormous. The connectivity, how your voice can be heard all across the world. There's a lot of great and powerful things that can happen as a result of that. But also, you got to show some restraint and kind of understand the negative side that potentially could happen, from the use of social media. There are some things that should remain private, and some things that, I think when we first started having access to the outside, the team meeting sometimes where your manager comes in and wants to yell at you and try to get you motivated and start to say some things that can catch your attention. Sometimes you wouldn't want that out there in a social media sense, and I think a lot of people in that room had to make a decision, do I actually share some of that outside of that room? So the situations and the circumstances that are around, you still have to maintain your normal principles, your normal values, and really think before you act many times. But certainly social media is a wonderful avenue for us to communicate with the world.
Got us here today. So when we were walking in, Cal was pretty impressed. He was marveling at all the state championship banners up there, and quite a force, especially when it comes to soccer and field hockey, right? Very cool. You guys in soccer players might not know it. Cal played a little soccer in his day. He was an all-state soccer player. Everyone remembers him from baseball. We can talk about that a little bit. About it's a different world now, right? Because kids are specializing in sports more. You played a lot of different ones.
So you really researched me before we came up here, huh?
I know a thing or two.
No, I played basketball, I played soccer, I played baseball. Every sport that was possible that we picked up and tried. And many times parents will ask about the specialization of sport right now. If you really want to be good at it, you really have to specialize at an early age. And my answer to that is, you want to explore other sports, first of all, to find out which ones you really like. But there's an opportunity by exploring other sports where you challenge your athleticism in ways that you wouldn't be able to challenge it through training. For example, soccer. For me personally, I turned out to be a big league baseball player. But soccer, you essentially don't use your hands unless you're throwing in the ball or whether you're the goalie. So you have to balance yourself in many different positions at different speeds going forward and backwards and sideways. So the balance required in the sport really challenges you in all kinds of different ways. And that translates to the ball really hard. It's not until you get into the pros, and I want to start that really quickly. But the odds are against you so much to make it in pro ball that you have to have a backup plan. And I think generally speaking, you should always have a backup plan. And my backup plan was my education. I thought that in negotiations with the Orioles, I said, okay, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to come sign a contract with you and play right away. But you have to guarantee me that you'll pay for my schooling anytime I want. So if things didn't work out, if you get injured or I just don't have what it takes to make it, I was willing to start my life maybe at 23 or 24 years old, go back to college, and then really work on what my career would be. I knew the importance of education because that's what's going to carry you. That education will serve you for your whole lifetime. And it's interesting, I never had to go back and ask for that. But I would imagine the way we structured it in my contract, I probably, at 54 years old now, I could go back and tell them I want to go to college. and you have to pay for it. But along those lines, I think it's pretty interesting that we could take that concept and create a scholarship, because kids are always in need of an opportunity to go. And I think that might be a good conversation to have with the owner of the Orioles, that we should create a scholarship in that honor. One was never taken.
We created news. All right. This is going to be paying for someone's college education. The last thing, and then from me, and I'm going to turn over to Nolan, and we'll go down the line here, but this year is the anniversary of the year you broke Kulik's consecutive games record. The anniversary of the streak, 20th anniversary. Now, a lot of people over time have asked you to, write letters to students with perfect attendance, and you've done that. You've met with people who've done perfect attendance, and people that never missed a day of work, and all that. How did the streak, all those days of 2,632 consecutive games, how did that relate back to maybe when you were a student? Were you the perfect attendance guy? See what I did?
No, I wasn't a perfect attendance guy. Matter of fact, I think my first day of first grade, I couldn't stand it so much that I waited till the teacher turned her back on me, and I got my book bag out of the closet and then headed down the hall and tried to break out of that place. And they caught me and brought me back, and they thought that I might have been too immature to actually start school at that time, so they thought about putting me back. Ultimately, that worked out, and ultimately I understood the value of school, but no, I didn't have a consecutive game streak in school. When I became a professional player, your job is to come to the ballpark ready to play every day and put yourself in the hands of the manager, and he decides whether you play. And I was resilient enough and strong enough and good enough to continue to play. The cool part about that streak, the way everybody else relates to it is about a commitment. It is about a responsibility. It is about the importance of you showing up every day. I mean, yeah, you can't accomplish anything just by showing up, but if you don't show up, you don't accomplish anything. So it's really, really important, the work ethic that you maintain as the base for anything that you do. So a lot of people would send me notes about saying, I haven't missed a day of school, or I'm a teacher and I haven't missed a day of school for 31 years. There were some impressive streaks that were talked about, but the cool thing is the value. What does that mean? I hold a record now that I won't say is unbreakable, because people used to call it unbreakable, and I came along and I was able to play in all those games. So if I can do it, certainly somebody else can. But I really am proud of the fact that you stand for something, that you have the discipline to come show up every day and try to meet that challenge, whatever that challenge is. And that ultimately will serve you really well in whatever job that you choose. And it will be appreciated and it will be respected. And who knows, maybe you have it inside of you to go on and do great things. But it starts with showing up, and it starts with that commitment and responsibility.